Good evening, this is Isaac from Blue Bag of Borelli, a place where I love to talk about my beloved Carlton and other things AFL related. Now, it's a failure. This season is a failure. I cannot give it a pass mark. How can you? 13 wins, 10 losses in the home and away, followed up with our first and only final with a drubbing, a 60-point head start to the Lions away. In the end, we lost by 28 points, but that really flattered us. They were so inaccurate in front of goals, and we were efficient in the second half and were able to pile on a few goals in consecutive minutes to make that scoreline seem that it wasn't as bad as it was, but it was a horror show. What a bad way to finish the season. What a season of waste. Heartbreak. We laid the foundations, did all the heavy lifting, did all the hard work, and in the end, it amounted to nothing. The race to 17 was over. Bang. Like that. Now, I'm just going to give a few quick thoughts, summary of our forwards, midfield and defence. Now, let's talk about the front 50. I love forwards. I love my big boppers, my big bananas. We've got two generational forwards, highly talented. Now, Triple C, 57 goals, wins the goal kicking again. He missed the last 3 games of the year. Mackay, 49 goals. Owi's career best season, 33 goals. Elijah Hollins missed the first 2 games of the year. Pinch hitting a little bit forward, a little bit through the middle. He kicked 17 goals. Not a bad first season with upside. So that's promising. Cripps, 17 goals. Kennedy, 16 goals. And Blake Acres playing on the wing, 13 goals. The real surprise was Zachy Williams. 15 goals in 11 games. That's pretty good. So, always has been told to perhaps explore his options. I think he's a little bit stiff. 33 goals, that's a career best season. He probably has earned the right to put his hand up for another contract extension. What has the Carlton Brains Trust got up their sleeves? It's going to be a big off-season, a big trade period coming up for the Navy Blues. And they've got to nail it because we're in the window now. We've got to make hay while the sun shines. So we were 4th best overall this season for points scored. So that's a tick. Our contest and clearance game was strong all year, and that's part of our DNA, our brand. And when our pressure was up, we're in the games most times and win most of the games. When we can play the game on our term, we need to be better for longer, stronger for longer. We've got to be more consistent. So we've become a good club. We now have to jump from good to great. That's the challenge. I hope it burns them in the summer, in the off-season. That's the challenge for 2025, 2026. There's a chance for a flag. Now, in the midfield, Cripps had his best year ever for Carlton. Now, that's saying something because he won the Brownlow in 2022. He was crowned with his 4th All-Australian jumper this year and vice-captain. 17 goals. Averaged over 28 disposals. His contested game was superb. Score involvement's high. What more can the man do? What more can you ask of him? Chera was very disappointing. Missed a lot of games this year. Did his hamstring time after time. Now that's 5 hammies since he's joined the club 3 years ago. That must be addressed in the off-season. So our starting midfield at full strength and at its best is fantastic. De Koning, Cripps, Walsh, George Hewitt and Chera. So you can see why, and Kennedy obviously pinched hit in there, but you can see why Kennedy is perhaps on the outer. Now, I feel for him. He's had a fairly good, solid season. He's loved by the supporter base. He's loved by his teammates. But obviously Voss and the coaching panel are seeing things that we don't. We will see what happens in the off-season. He's been told to explore his options as well. When they're all up and going, that is a great midfield that'll win us most games. But when TDK went down, we started to go down. Now, some of the big issues and some of the disappointing things for this year, we only had 3 players that played every game all year. Cripps, Newman and Kennedy. We did not have the luxury at all of giving Cripper a breather in any game, which Geelong has had the luxury many years with Dangerfield to do that. With Selwood, they had the luxury banking those wins and banking some rest to their key players so that they're ready to go in the finals. We had no luxury. We had the second most injuries of all clubs this year by a mile. Only Richmond had more injuries than us. We had no continuity. At the start of the season, we didn't have Wiedering and Walsh. During the year, we lost Tom De Koning, Chera, McGovern, Sard, missed large chunks of games during the middle of the year. And then in the back end of the year, we lost Charlie, we lost Mackay for some games. And it all just started to mount up to too much. And Walsh, who had carried a big load and between rounds 5 and 17 was on fire, it had all caught up to him. And our form slumped. And what's the coincidence? Where was Walsh for the last few games? Then in the last 2 games of the year, against the Eagles and the Saints, Walsh was able to recapture some of his better form. Hopefully we can manage him so that he's right to go round 1, because we have not had him for the first game of the year at our club under Voss. So that's something hopefully we can rectify next year. Our defence was where the biggest problem was. Here's a couple of the stats. Ranked 14th for points against in the comp. That's not going to pay the bills. That's not going to get the job done. And that's not what they say on SEN as preliminary finals integrity, PFI. Most winners every season are a top 6 or better in both categories. Points for, points against. Points for, 4th best, a tick. Points against, 14th, 5th worst. We've got a lot of ground to catch up. A lot of ground. Only the bottom 3 sides, which were Richmond, Eagles, and the name escapes me now, plus Essendon. The bottom 3 plus Essendon were the only sides that leaked more points than us. There's the biggest story. Not only that, we were 10th worst for scores conceded inside of our 50. And points against clearance differential ranked 16th, which was bottom 3. A lot of work has to be done in the off-season. Does Voss need to get in a fresh face or 2 tactically to help him? You know, that same coaching panel has been with Voss ever since he started. Do they need to change the mix up a little bit? We've got the new fitness boss. So that's a start for next year. Remember, this is all about the race to 17. This is all about trying to capitalise on our window over the next couple of seasons. So, in our 3 seasons under Voss, have we really progressed that much? Here's an interesting stat. Season 1, 12 wins. That's fine. Should have made the 8, but we didn't. Everyone knows the heartbreak at the end of that season. But 12 wins. Then in his second season, 13.5 wins. We finished 5th. We play our first final in 10 years. We win 2 finals, get to a prelim. The potential's there. We were on a roll. We won 9 games and 11 out of our last 13. But the 2 finals that we won were both by 6 points and 2 points. So there's that small margin that I keep talking about in footy. It's just a game of inches that can make the difference from there to there to there. Anyway, next year we need to be aiming for 16 wins. It's non-negotiable. We need 16 wins and at worst 15. We need to finish top 4. Now, my 3 favourite moments from this season. The win against Port Adelaide, at Adelaide Oval. I went with the family and went with some friends. That last quarter, 8 goals, and we win the game in that against Port Adelaide. Cripps went berserk in that last quarter. We were there to watch that game live. Opening round against the Lions at the Gabba, 46 points down. We win the game. Mackay kicks that goal to get his monkey off his back. And then the third favourite victory for this year and moment, at the MCG against the Cats. We win by 11 goals. We made them look second rate. De Koning was on fire that night. Triple C kicked 5. Mackay kicked 3. I always kicked 3. Cripps and Walsh destroyed the midfield. I started to dream. I was with my brother, my cousin, Horsemaster. I'm looking at them and I said, I'm starting to dream of the race to 17, our 17th flag. It was the best we had played, in my opinion, since the year 2000. It set us up 11-5. We beat Richmond the week after by another 10. We're 11-5. I thought, here we go. And did we come crashing down? My top 3 players of the year, Cripps is my MVP. He played every game, 17 goals. Brownlow medal favourite, vice captain of the All-Australian, should easily win his 5th BNF, which would be record equaling with the big Johnny Nichols, and is a big chance to win the Brownlow. Will he tie for the Brownlow with Nick Dacos or a couple of others? Anyway, so here's my player of the year. In second spot, I'm going to go for Wiedering, who finally won his first All-Australian jumper. He missed the first 2 or 3 games. He's probably our most important player. And without him, we would be in all sorts of trouble. He played banged up a few times. He has not much support. It's all on him. He has a big responsibility for us. More often than not, he got the job done. There were a few times where he did do some things that scratch my head. He's still the best one-on-one defender in the comp. The best statistically. Third spot, I'm going to give it to Mackay. 49 goals. Got the monkey off his back. Pinched hit in the ruck. Great mark. When he's on, he is brilliant. I'm going to give him third because the first half of the season, he was so influential in us winning games. I'm going to give him third and I'm going to tie him with Nick Newman. Nick Newman was so solid, so meticulous, so smart, reliable, durable and consistent in that back 50. You can bank on him being solid. You put that magnet down and he's there. So, just to recap, Cripps first. And then in second spot, I forgot who that was now in second spot. Who did I say? Who did I say was in second spot?
Wiedering.
Wiedering, that's right. Okay, now Why must I grieve? Dreaming of winning flags. Is it a lie? Do I still believe? What a waste in Jack Martin. It's a 17th flag that I'm chasing, but will we ever win it? It's a dangerous dream to think. Drives me insane. It's the ghost of the past that still remain by my side. 911, no one hears my cry. I wake up screaming. I hope next year is not a sense of deja vu. We're a box office club. We've had record memberships this year, nearly 108,000K. You know, we're one of the most watched teams. We have box office players, box office time slots. We're in the spotlight. Next year, we must hit the ground running. We must finish top 4. We must finish top 4 or else it's bust again. Now, if we get Dan Houston, we're going to be in a good position. Hopefully, Doherty, in that back half, Doherty, Houston, Sard, ball movement is the key. The transition game. There were so many times this year where the ball was stuck in our back 50 and we couldn't get it out. We were hemmed in our D50. Now that's already the weakest part of our team on the ground is the D50. And then when you got the ball hemmed in there all the time, eventually you're going to bleed. So if we can jag Houston, I don't know how, because apparently we want to keep our first pick in this year's draft. So how are we going to get the job done? Port are going to want 2 first rounders, which at the age of 28, a halfback flank, I don't think is going to happen. Hopefully we get a better run with injuries. Now, our front half next year, I believe, can get even better. Triple C, Mackay. Jack Silvani as the third tall. Hopefully we get him back. A big year for you, Jack, next year. You have never kicked 20 or more goals in one season with the Blues. A big year. You're our third tall. You come back. Then we've got the smalls in Orazio, Durden. Always, if he stays. Motlop, you need to be better, mate. And then we've got Ashton Moyer, a smooth-moving left footer. I hope Voss has the guts to play him first game. Put that magnet there, get him some games, give him exposure. There's still a lot of improvement in this team. They need to stay together, they need to be fit, and there's the best chance of winning the flag. We also will get the 2 Camporeale twins. That will be exciting because it'll give us leg speed, some outside polish, which will complement our strong midfield of inside bulls. That's what we need a lot, some outside class and speed. I cannot give Carlton a pass mark this year. I can't. I'm going to give him 4.5 out of 10. That may sound harsh. Now, what is a pass mark? Well, a pass mark had to be a return to the prelim or very close to it. We didn't do that. 4.5 I'm going to give him. Or shall we give him 5? Let's give him 5. You know why? They finished 8th. They played a final. 5 out of 10 I'm going to give him, but that's not a pass mark because a pass mark has to be at least 6 plus, which is more than half. 5 out of 10. That's it. I'm jealous, I'm envious of the teams that are left in the prelim because I want my team there. I want them at the MCG. I want to dream. I want to know what it feels like, what it tastes like to hold that cup, to win that 3rd flag. It's a struggle. I've been in this game since 1986. I will get my membership again next year. Win, lose or draw, I love my club. This is Isaac. from Blue Bagger Borelli. Leave your comments down below. Leave me your thoughts. Leave me your rating. Leave me your grade out of 10. What do you think Carlton should be graded out of 10 for this year? Let me know in your thoughts down below. And I'll catch you on my next video. Go the Blues.